Hello, Gino.
Want to welcome up Rabbi Rachel Timoner from Congregation Beth Elohim.
I am the senior rabbi of the largest synagogue in Brooklyn. It is a lie to say that anti-Semitism and racism are pitted against each other, that if we stand up for Jews, we have to therefore do things that hurt black people or brown people, or if we stand up for black people and brown people, we have to do things that are going to make Jews unsafe. No, no. I have known that my core motivation is to end racism in this country. That is the core thing I want to do as a rabbi. And so to do that in partnership with the Black community is the ideal of how to do that. So I've been wanting to figure out how I could organize a partnership between my congregation and an African-American church nearby. I chose to work with the Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman because in the Black community of Bed-Stuy, he's a really respected community leader, and I really believe in him and his ministry.
So welcome, 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 the one and only Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman.
I learned one simple thing in 20 years, tolerance. You can disagree with me, because you're going to, but tolerance is the key to building.
As a kid growing up in Brooklyn, New York, my father's a preacher and my mother was a housewife who raised 7 kids. All I remember is church, 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 church. Then when my parents divorced, that fight between me and God started when we drove from New York to South Carolina. My mother now had to fend for herself. Your father's a pastor, your mother is on welfare. It didn't make sense to me. That was the beginning of my anger with God.
People think, oh, this is the rabbi. She must have always been really into Judaism. She must have always been really into God. She must have always been really into Torah and prayer and all these things. And I needed to tell them, like, I grew up hating this. At my bat mitzvah, when we were rehearsing for the ceremony, our father was newly disabled. We were all adjusting to this new reality. It was painful. And the rabbi was impatient, and he snapped his fingers at my father when he was trying to make his way across the bima. And I thought to myself, I am never coming back here. I did not walk into a synagogue until I was 24. I was around all these people who were queer and alienated from religion. I was around people who were on the left and like pseudo-Marxists and thinking religion is the opiate of the masses. I was not around people who cared about God, okay? And suddenly, like, I was up in the night. Like, I would wake up in the night being like, I have to figure out what I think about God. And I decided I was going to find my way back to a synagogue, which felt very intimidating to me at that time.
I wanted to just disconnect myself from religion as a whole. I lost 2 sisters to alcoholism, brother to drugs, another one locked up because of drugs. And I ended up working in tobacco fields, cropping tobacco from early age until I finished high school. Ended up on a welfare line at the age of 21. And I said to myself, this could not be my life. And then God says, okay, you're called. But I said, let me give this one more shot. I started thinking about how to get back to New York. And that was the next day I was on a Greyhound bus. And I said, okay, God, what's my next step? And then my life started going towards positive. I'm 4 degrees now. I have an associate's, a bachelor's, a master's, and a doctorate. So I became an advocate once I got myself together.
Hey. Hi, Reverend Dr. Waterman. Welcome. So good to see you. Come on in.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Do you think there's something useful we could do together about this?
Safety around Brooklyn is based upon making sure that people are comfortable.
That's right, and have what they need.
I don't have what I need, and I see that you have what you need. No, it's not right, but I'm actually angry.
I'm angry.
security. We started with that. How do people feel secure? You make the environment around them conducive for living.
I want to be part of making this different, educating both of our congregations and communities. I want to be part of actually creating well-being.
Here's that big question
Yeah.
that usually, the elephant, as they say in the room,
Right.
is can you worship together?
Yeah, we would come to you on a Sunday, you'd come to us on a Saturday.
Right.
Would that feel like possible?
That's a possibility.
Well, then I better get on it. I better write a concept paper like today. I don't feel like I think through my purpose. I feel like I listen for my purpose. I feel like I am being guided. And my question is, how can I be of use? How can I listen for my purpose? When I listen well, things start to happen. Come on my left, come on my right, everyone. As a rabbi, I feel obligated looking at the world and saying, okay, what here doesn't have to be this way? And how can I be part of healing that and changing it? And how can I put it back into balance where there's equity and they'll have their needs met?
I'm based here in Bedford-Stuyvesant, that's squashed between high-risers and brownstones. The Hasidic community have come through with buckets of funding and offered to property owners to snatch their homes. The racism for me is so dark in this community that when people scream anti-Semitism, the Black community has been saying, but ain't nobody listening to us. We gotta live with our suffering. So in my community, the pushback is, oh, all Jewish people are the same.
Well, Shabbat Shalom. So good to see all of you here. What an important night this is to be together. But we've known for a couple of years now that if we were able to bring our communities into fellowship, to become really siblings with each other, to really come to know each other, to tell each other our stories, that we could develop an understanding about each other and about anti-Semitism and racism, and that we could become a powerful force together once we had that trust. Here's one thing we can promise each other. We will not walk away. We're in this for the long, long haul because the goal is change. Change in here, change in here, change out there. Pastor Robert Waterman, this bima is yours.
Shabbat Shalom. This is our moment to create a symbol where we're not judged by the color of our skins or the wealth of our pocket. King calls this the beloved community.
Someday, I hope we are going to get to the conversation about race. The fact that we're Jews and Christians is real and true and proving a major stumbling block.
And we, Project Harmony, believe in holding hands and singing a message of hope and of love.
We invited the flag team. We invited the dance. So to see this giant Jesus flag, it was like,
We're going to show you how we come together and be optimistic.
I looked over at Steph and I was like, what do we do? I did not want Walik to feel bad. We said to each other, let's just do nothing. And we were gonna do nothing. But I knew that if we did nothing, I'd have, 100 or more people who were gonna be saying to me like, how could you let that happen in our synagogue? Because it feels like an attack on our space.
Someone came to me and told me enough of the Jesus flag. I heard kill the Jesus flag. I was offended because my worship was disturbed. And I'm serious about my worship. We got into some words because I truly didn't understand, and I was hurt. It made me want to go home because I'm thinking you're willing to accept my race, but my religion may be an issue.
Do you want to talk about what happened with the flag?
Yeah, just like the shofar, that's a part of your worship.
Yeah.
I embrace your worship and bring it in and integrate it into mine.
Yeah.
Not to get my people to go out and buy shofars.
Oh, right. Right. I would never, ever want your community or you to feel like you are not fully welcome here. So let me explain. For thousands of years now, Christians have tried to make Jews Christian. So sometimes that looked like murdering us. Sometimes it looked like forced conversion. All of the beginnings of anti-Semitism, all of the ideas of us being dishonest and not trustworthy and secretly controlling the world and secretly controlling money to force our conversion. Part of what it is for us to feel safe in our places of worship is to not have Jesus there. One of the things that's interesting in this dynamic is that there's the white-black piece and there's the Christian-Jewish piece.
Right.
So you're black, I'm white. We're not gonna say like, oh, there's no color. Yeah,
Right.
there is
It is
actually.
color.
There
It's
is
color.
actually color.
Which
and
makes it beautiful.
And it makes it beautiful.
See,
And
that's
it makes it
where,
beautiful.
and that's where I see as a colorful picture is that red is red.
Yes. And the color.
And I want you to be red.
Totally.
Because if you're not red, the picture will not be you.
We're saying the
who
same
you
thing.
are. I am who I am.
That's right.
We make
find
this
each other.
picture.
I want to see my family, CBE. I want to see you in heaven. I don't know how we're going to get there together. I just want us to get there together. And this is what this is all about. My mission as a pastor, beyond a pulpit, is one, helping people to find purpose, how to move and motivate themselves from one level to the next level, from political, economics, religion, education, health, at every aspect. When you find a need, you find a purpose. You know how black communities survive? On the crumbs that fall off of tables that people no longer want to eat. Yet we try to support each other through that process. If you want to make things right, start locally. Invest in the black community, because all this talking is not going to get it. Everything that's been successful is when people found a need to serve others. I think purpose finds you. This didn't just happen.
Yep.
Everyone's called, but everyone's not listening.
That's exactly right.
And ABCCBE is a found purpose where two people were listening.
And if you listen deeply, the thing that's going to come through you is what we call God.
This is our moment, ABC and CBE, to create a symbol that others will be able to follow, that we don't talk about love, we show love.